The quilt continues to grow. It's been displayed in sections all over the country, and over 2 million people have seen it. It's also been on tour with the musical Heartstrings.
George Buddy McGovern, Richard Hennig, and my friend Leland Moss, makeup artist Stephen Riley, and fellow actor Billy Diacutis.
The young man who did my makeup for the Oscars passed away in August of AIDS, Stephen Riley, and I didn't even know he was sick because he was so full of life and preferred to talk about that, I think. And so I came because of him and for other friends that I've worked with. The list is very long, and so...
At the opening ceremony in Hollywood, a community that has been especially hard hit by the AIDS epidemic, many came out to mourn the passing of their friends and colleagues.
Bruce E. Langdon, Stuart Reeder, and Frankie Piazza.
In 1982, I did a film called Tootsie, and I met a man by the name of Frank Piazza, who was my dresser, and we became very good friends, and he worked with me on Death of a Salesman and other projects, and that was the first person I ever knew personally who died of AIDS.
Graham Conley, Reed Jones, and David Rubenstein. He was a funny man. He was, like, I know his school chums. We went to the funeral. He was always a leader. He was like a Pied Piper. People followed him, and my kids adored him. He spent every Christmas with us, and he was Jewish. And he would make Christmas ornaments. And he was just one of the good guys, you know.
David Razian, my friend, Bruce Savan, and my friend and the friend of my wife and children, Arturo Islas.
Arthur Robbins, Champ McCullough, John Dodd.
Even though it only has names of people who've died, there's something very alive about the quilt, and I guess that's what makes it most moving.
I mean, it shows the person who cared, the friend, the lover, the family member, and it's a piece of them, it's a piece of art, it's a piece of work, and I think what it shows is a memory of that person who died, and it has some part of their personal life in it, and I think it really, it brings chills to me.
My son, before he died, we discussed it. Well, I told him I would do it, but it took 2.5 years to start. You know, it just brings a lot of memories, you know, and things that we talked about in his life, and it makes you think about what life is and how easy you can go. Remember I was telling you the people that passed away with the virus, and then when they pass, their family makes the quilts, and then they bring them and they display them so people like us can come and look. Remember?
Tanya Shaw, who's living with AIDS, visited the quilt with her daughter, Destiny.
Sometimes I feel sad because I think my mommy name going to be on it.
Talk to me about making a quilt again. You were talking about maybe making a panel.
I would put hearts on it and write Tanya Shaw by your daughter because I want to make it for my mommy because I love her.
And my
friends David Wilson, Jim Georgitas, and Larry Kurt.
Jonathan Wesley Oliver Jr. Somebody told me you would be here. Finally get to say goodbye. Jonathan Jr., how many years have gone between us? On the back porch, making wishes, counting shooting stars. I was scared of Indiana when we moved there. I was 10. There you were with your freckled face, and I knew it right away. That's my friend, my new friend.
Not only are you hearing about it, this is like, now you can touch it and you can see it. Because every single square on the quilt is just like, that's someone's life.
And that all these people from various and diverse places who are loved and remembered and missed by so many people, the fact that they get connected to each other by the nature of what is a quilt. It's a part of humanity. I just think it's profound.
Picture your father writing your name with needle and thread. You'd be laughing, you'd be proud, oh, it's a real nice job. I keep thinking, once you said, something good can come from anything. Jonathan Wesley Oliver Jr. from 54 to 87. What's it like, John? What's in heaven? Are there shooting stars?
In October, the entire AIDS Memorial Quilt, over 20,000 panels, will be returned for display to Washington, D.C.
Bruce Savan, agent and friend.
My friend and the friend of my wife and children.
And my friends
Arturo Isla.
David Wilson,
My own son,
Jim Georgitas,
Ryan White, and his many friends.
And my dearest brother, Michael Haggerty.
Everyone should be involved, not just me personally, for any personal reasons, other than it's a plague that's attacking every single one of us. So every single one of us should be involved.
I'm in a series called Harry and the Hendersons. And last year, my co-star, Kevin Peter Hall, who plays Harry the Bigfoot, died of AIDS. Kevin called me and I said, you okay? He said, no. I said, what's the matter? He said, I have AIDS. And I said, where are you? He said, at the hospital at Century City. Can you come over? I said, yeah. And that was the first, I guess, friend that he told. He had kept the secret for 2 years. And he really didn't know quite how to deal with a studio and a network and a TV series, and was very frightened of, his own family and livelihood and how to protect that in the show. And we're able to protect Kevin and allow his last few months to be not so frightening. And he was so relieved to be able to say, oh, I have friends that do care. I was frightened to say anything because I didn't know what people would do. His wife, after having seen the reaction to Brad Davis's death and Magic Johnson coming forward publicly, felt that the time was right to tell Kevin's story. And I'm glad we can now, because he was very courageous. And he died with great dignity. And, he was Harry the Bigfoot. I really miss him.
The reason Heartstrings is so important to me is because it was the first time I was able to come out publicly and defy my parents and my family and the real zealots, religious zealots on both sides, and say, yes, my brother was gay. Yes, my brother died of AIDS. Yes, I loved him. Yes, I still love him. And I will always love him.
Pro football player Jerry Smith, fashion designer Willie Smith, and singer Jacques Williams, my son.